Good afternoon, Madam Witness. Welcome back once again. Just want to remind you that they are still on the oath before I hand you over to Madam Chair for us to proceed. Thank you, Madam Chair. Over to you.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome back.
Thank you.
Can we please proceed?
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Welcome back, Your Worship.
Thank you.
Now, still back to the Finance Director. I believe you are working with the Registrar, Mr. Kamara, to arrange your exhibits.
Nena legi ba legi jung si Finance Director bi nena gom na ne legi yak Mr. Kamara toppatoo ngeen kayit yi nga xam ne yooyu la waxoon pour ngeen defar ko. Yes.
Mr. Kamara told me that he is trying to put them together.
Yes.
Because he wants to make sure that for every issue, those documents are put together, so that
exactly.
they will not be.
Yes. Thank you very much.
So, can we proceed? Then we can get the documents admitted before we close for the day.
Yes. Still on the issue of the Finance Director.
Nena ba legi jung si Finance Director.
So, my question is, following the wrongful nature of awarding the contract to SAPS,
Nena moy yoon bi nga xam ne wala mbir mi nga xam ne contrat bi nga xam ne jox nañ ko SAP.
in relation to revenue collection,
Moy pour jëli lempo.
it was more appropriate to bring it up as an agenda item.
Neka dafa nekkoon loo xam ne nekkutoon dafa appropriate pour ñu isi ko boole ko mu nekk agenda item.
It would have been more appropriate to bring it up as an agenda item
Nena te dafa waroon pour ñu isi ko ñu def ko agenda item.
in the subsequent council meeting.
Moy meeting yi nga xam ne dañ council dañ ko dee am.
Do you agree with that?
Nena nango nga loolu.
Wow.
Yes.
And is there any reason why it was not discussed subsequently regarding the unlawful process or the departure from normal procurement process in relation to the contract given to SAP?
Nena nda dafa am lu tax contrat bi nga xam ne jox ngeen ko SAP andu leen wala yow topp leen yoon bi nga xam ne boobu moo war comme nu waree.
No. Is there any reason why it was not brought up as an agenda item in the subsequent meeting? Because the mayor was not present.
Nena kon lu taxoon comme lu ma la waa tal leen ko pour isi ko si agenda bi bari comme wax na moom si boppam wax na ne mayor bi si boppam fekkewutoon loolu.
Okay, let me take it again.
Nena ba léegi ñu repeat ko.
The mayor was not present when SAP was given the contract.
Nena SAP buñ ko joxoon contract dafa fekk yow mayor bi fekkewuloo woon.
Now, the contract was given to SAP, that's going by the mayor's testimony, was given to SAP and by the influence of the finance director.
Nena contract bi dañ ko mujjee jox SAP ci kaw influence bi nga xam ne finance director def na ko.
And general council at that point did not take the matter back to the normal procurement process and the contracts committee.
Nena te general council ñoom lu ñu def nena yóbbuñ mbir mi comme ni mu waree mu daal di dem si contracts committee.
For it to be subject to tender.
Pour nga gis ne ñu mën a koo tëral si tender bi.
And so when you came back, the subsequent meeting,
nena waaye yow bi nga delluwaasee bi nga ñib si meeting bi nga xam ne am ngeen ko.
you should have raised the issue.
Nena la yow lu la waroon mooy da nga waroon a raise issue bi da nga ko waroon a wax.
To address the anomaly there.
nga gis ne loo xam ne jaaduutoon foofu ngeen dal di ko jàngat mu dal di nekk loo xam ne dafa jaadu.
Now you had agreed with that.
Nena nangu nga loolu.
No, you had agreed with that.
Nena yow da ngeen agree yoon si loolu.
Why was it not brought up?
Nena lu tax yow sa boppa isiwuloo mbir mi pour ngeen waxtaan ko.
Waa lead counsel foog naa wax naa la ne waxtaanoon naa sa CEO.
think I told you that I have discussed with the CEO.
waxtaan naa see di den deputy mayor tamit.
And I discussed with the deputy mayor.
waaye pour bañ a rusloo suma boppa.
But to avoid making myself to fall in being ashamed.
si suma biir colleagues yi.
In my within my colleagues.
Because xam naa ne this was premeditated dañ ko plan.
I knew that it was a plan.
Because boobu nekkul the first time mu def ko.
And this was not the first time they did it.
nekkul the second time mu def ko.
And this was not the second time he did it.
kon moom li mu doon def xam na ko.
Then he knew what he was up to.
It was premeditated.
It was
premeditated. So dafa xaar ba ma dem.
He waited until I left.
comme liñ daan wax di den deputy mayor rek.
As they are saying at the deputy mayor.
su fi mayor bi nekkut yow tam yaay mayor doole bi mu am nga am.
If the mayor is not there, you are the deputy mayor. The powers she got, and that's the same power you have.
Loolu Camara wax na ko ëpp na million times.
Camara have said that more than a million times.
léegi daf ko oo moom si boppam den deputy mayor bi.
Sometimes he owed the deputy mayor himself.
di ko bugg a wan ne ko mayor bi doole bi mu am yow moom nga am.
To say to him that the powers that the mayor have is the same powers you.
Do you agree with that?
bi ma ko waxee su ma fa nekkutee.
Nee na yow nangoo nga loolu.
su ma fa nekkutee.
If I am not there.
suma doole bi moom la amee.
He got my powers.
No, Madam Mayor, he asked you a question. Before you continue answering the question, making your statement, answer the question. You said, the finance director said the deputy mayor has the same powers, and the council asked you a question, and the question was, is that so? Is that what you believe, that the deputy mayor has the same powers as the mayor?
Deputy mayor bi amul comme doole bu ma amee.
See, the deputy mayor don't have the powers as I have.
You can continue.
waaye moom loolu lañ ko gëmloo.
But that is what they make him believe.
gisoon naa ni gars yi doon operater.
I saw the way they were operating.
so bi ma waxee CEO bi.
When I talked to Lowe,
as my technician and advisor. mu wan ma ne lii suñ ko yóbbu council.
He assured me that if we take this to council.
ba council ànd ci.
Until when the council agreed to it.
ba pare soo gisee timing bi.
And if you see the timing.
diggante bi maa dem ak bi maa ñëw.
The interval between my going and coming.
gaawalantu na jagar contract bi.
They made it quick and the contract was issued.
boy bi ñëw na start.
And the boy has started.
so mënatuma see def dara.
Then there I have no other thing to do.
so man li ma mënoon rek mooy.
All what I can do was.
ma wax ko joxe suma complaint bi si CEO.
I just lodged my complaint to the CEO.
te yàlla dimbale na ma.
And God assisted me.
li ma si doon xalaat ak li ma ci gisoon.
What I was thinking and what I saw.
yëpp moo ñëw feeñ.
That is exactly what had happened.
because wax naa ko de ko Banjul.
I told him that Banjul.
dafa ndaw.
It's tiny, small.
gisuma fenn foo xam ne.
I don't see any place where.
fii dafa ñëw indiwaat lu ees fii.
You or this can bring more revenue here.
Banjul business sector bi yëpp ñeneen ci koñ la.
All Banjul business sectors is all about 4 streets.
so su ma toogoon ci that council meeting.
If I was present at that council meeting.
dinaa bëgg mu won ma fu moo jëlee yu ees yi.
I would like him to show me where he's going to create a new revenue.
bala maa mun a convince pour ma dugga ci loolu.
Before I was convinced, or he can convince me to join them.
waaye unfortunately.
But unfortunate.
council is a body.
Council is a body.
su fekkee ne man maa fa toogoon sax.
Hadn't I was present therein.
te ñoom ñëpp ñu d'accord si.
And they all agree.
duma ci mun dara.
I will not do anything.
te Camara ni mu dee operater.
And the way Camara operates.
daf maa bypass.
He will bypass me.
dem lebal council bele xaalis.
And go and credit council monies.
dem lebal kële xaalis.
And go and credit another person monies.
jël auditeurs yi def leen ci ronam.
And take all the auditors, put them under him.
so daf dee métti pour nga mun a taxaw challenge ko.
It will be difficult, or it is always difficult to stand and challenge.
Now, Camara su waxee ne.
When Camara says.
Rohey Malick Lowe mooy the toughest in the council.
Rohey Malick Lowe is the toughest in council.
with all this lu mu doon def nii.
With all what he was doing.
su doon man mënal naa ko dara.
If at all I can be able to do something.
su doon ni ma painté noonu la.
The way he painted me, if at all it is like that.
konoon li moo def nii yëpp du ko ñeme a def.
Then I know what he was doing. He cannot be able to do it.
The finance director.
Then a finance director
has a mandate.
Then a mandate.
And it is stated clearly in the in the relevant laws.
Now,
the Finance and Audit Act
Finance and Audit Act
clearly outlines the role of the Finance Director.
The Finance Director the
Financial Manual
Financial Manual
outlines all of these responsibilities. Their rules are very straightforward. Everyone that works in council has a mandate. The Finance Director is answerable to the CEO.
Financial Director
The CEO is answerable to you and council. Now, my question is, when it comes to payments and the role of the Finance Director, what part is there that is difficult to manage? Because among the senior members who will authorize payment, even though he is extremely important, but he's down the ladder. He's down the ladder. When you say that a payment should not happen, if council would have exercised their role according to the manual, to give out a pass resolution regarding the limits, then the Finance Director will have no choice. If a payment is lawful, it must be paid. If it is unlawful, it should not be signed. If he does anything contrary to the law, every quarter or every year you will find out. And if you find out, the law gives you power to act. That is the issue. So that's why I said you did not agree with what he did regarding the contract given to SAPS. I also had the same opinion. But when you came back, you were to go back to council, being the head of council. Put it as an agenda item, so that council will know that they have ratified a contract that, in the wrong manner, and it has to be discussed. Because you are back in town. This next meeting, raise the issue. So my question is, why was the issue not raised at council?
Council. It might not be an agenda issue, the council, because I cannot remember anymore.
I cannot tell, as I told you, this was
I have to go back to the minutes.
An agenda. I cannot remember them. I have to go back to the minutes and see whether we have discussed that in council level or not.
Why,
but what I want to let you know is that,
and just some evidences you have been to the ministry.
I gave you some evidence that we wrote to the ministry.
With all the camera defib.
With all what camera did.
Ministry be send only best bet link def.
Ministry?
Send only best bet link mona def.
Best bet that they did or that they can do.
Moi transfer ko
that they did.
That they did was to transfer him to
Birkama Area Council.
Birkama Area Council.
So lolo automatically lumma won moy.
That automatically shows me that.
Moy ne pour ñom camara defu dara.
For them, Kamara did not do anything.
Because kula ñoo wax ne def na A B C D E F yëpp ñu bindal la ko jox la ko.
And when somebody came right to say this man have involved in A B C D,
council yi nekk Banjul City Council yëpp. Council yi nekk Banjul City Council yëpp.
all the councils at the PCC they sign it.
li ñu def rek mooy ñu transfer ko.
But what they did was they transfer him.
foog naa ñu bàyyi xel tamit ne.
And I think we should avoid our mind that
ministry bi tam dafa am oversight responsibility.
the ministry too have an oversight responsibility.
And some of these people dañ dee am tamit seen strong contacts yi.
And some of these people, they do have their strong contacts
at the ministry.
at the ministry.
te li moo nekk dëgga.
And this is what is going on.
su fekkee ne feel ne they are strong there.
If they feel that they are strong there,
su nekkee si council bi lu leen neex la ñoo def.
whatever they do, they will, whatever they feel like, that is what they normally do.
su fekkee ne di Rohey Malick Lowe bi ñoo wax ne is the lion and si biir council bi.
If I told the Rohey Malick Lowe that they are accused to be a lion at council,
fooguma ne Camara li mu def nii yëpp dina ko doon ñeme.
I don't think Kamara what he did, he can be
let us get the exhibits.
Then a new exhibits.
Can we get
No, the exhibits that are tendered. Where is the registrar?
the Mr. Malick?
No, why not? Why not the exhibition do
One
that?
that was tendered. No. Let me see. Come. Let me show you.
Lord Mayor, I agree with you.
dafa am lu ma bëggoon a wax rek bala ma koo fàtte.
Please proceed.
I have something to say before.
Another example
is that,
mooy si suñ dom side bi.
and that is our dump side.
Camara toog na fii explain ne mu ngi ñoo indi revenue si dom side bi.
Kamara was here saying that he have created revenue from the dump side.
demal si suñ accounts yi.
Go to our accounts.
nga seet na reflect na fenn si suñ biir si suñ
Whether
accounts yi.
it have reflected anywhere in our accounts.
ne dom side bi mu ngi doon indi xaalis.
That the dump side was bringing
dom
money.
side bi léegi lañ door.
This dump side started now
di fa am ay 2 million ay 3 million.
to have monies amounting to 1 million, 2 million.
waaye bu mu fa nekkee moom.
But when he was there,
it's all about verbal wax ne indi na dom side bi indi na 100,000 dom side bi indi na
that's
200,000.
all verbal words saying that the dump side brought monies 2,000. This thing is nothing.
Now,
laaj nañ ko loolu fan la reflect si suñ accounts yi.
Ask him where does it reflect in our accounts.
now,
gisuñ ko fe.
let us
see,
discuss
anywhere.
some of the. We have a memo from the acting finance manager. So, which one are you referring to that was written to the ministry?
Then I'm not memo bigam ne mngejo wesi active finance.
Do I give it to you back so that you
Director.
can?
Then I promote la ko nga se nga wonu ñuko.
chair man ma woon na ko nga kii dafa def pay def ñan nañ ko fay def what it was for fuel supply all that.
Have you seen the letters in relation to the finance director that we have tendered?
Then I just got letter financial director.
In relation to the finance director that you have tendered,
Then you have you approve financial director. Be pare tenanga wala dugal nga ko be pare.
yes. Yes.
Funa dama bàyyi si paper su ma bàyyi gannaaw boobu si la bokka waaye dinaa ko indi.
I left it behind.
Yes, my question is the exhibits that I've given you that you have tendered.
And I like to be more exhibits simula jo inga hamne tedanga ko.
Whether you want to refer to us any.
Boobu benn memo bi mu ngi fa ak letter bi ma bind to the CEO tam.
There is a memo there and a letter that I wrote to the CEO.
Memo bi ma bind to the CEO.
There's a memo that I wrote
to the ministry.
I wrote to the CEO.
Okay, we have one.
Then I'm not there now.
The 13th of May 2020.
And the 13th of May 2020.
Address to the Director of Finance.
Gadal address the Director of Finance.
Written by the Lord Mayor yourself.
And I also have a
It says refund of $895,000 is to cancel.
A refund of $895,000 to cancel.
Okay, this is not written to the. It's not written to the ministry.
And be good letter ministry.
Do you have one that is written to the ministry? Because that's the subject matter now.
And I'm not going to ministry.
Foog na am na memo boo amee foofu buñ bind to the ministry about our budget foofu.
I think you have a memo
Yes,
which
let me.
we wrote to the ministry about our budget.
I believe I saw it too here, but can you please check again?
Yes, that is the one that is referring to the fact that he needs to prepare the budget, and
Yes, yes.
you have consistently asked that the budget be prepared, and to no
Can you
avail.
please check? Can you please check here? It is not in those sets of documents.
No, it should be inside that bundle of documents. It is admitted in that bundle of documents.
Why don't know the people you open lead? I'm not member of manager.
Can you check whether they are not mixed up?
Just check. We check. Do the manager.
Can you please call the registrar to come? Because he has custody of the documents. Lord Mayor, we have one of the documents you have sent here. It is a photocopy. It was not tendered, but it appears to be the same document. Let me show it to you. Where is the one you are referring to?
Ina dafa am benn document bu mu amee dina waaye photocopy la dina xarat mu woon la kon daa boobu nga ne ko ni woon mbiram. This is one of it.
Was a memo.
This was a memo
Permanent secretary
that we wrote to the permanent secretary so that we can be able to have this project.
Why there was a letter to the ministry.
But there is a specific letter that we wrote. If at all I don't come along with it, I will check it.
Now, let me have that one. Go and check it. Just for the letter dated the 16th of October 2023.
Letter bi nga xam ne da ko bindoon 6th of October 2023.
That you wrote to the permanent secretary.
Bi nga xam ne da ko bindoon si permanent secretary.
It says budget of the Banjul City Council.
Li nga binda foofu mooy budget of the Banjul City Council.
I wish to draw your attention to a recent situation at the Banjul City Council that needs your urgent attention. I have not received the council budget up till this moment that I write this letter, even though the Chief Executive Officer verbatim has informed me of challenges he is going through with the Finance Director. Despite my several reminders to him, I have sent verbal and written reminders, yet the budget documents to get to your office. That is why I was sending all the reminders. Unfortunately, I have not yet received the budget. I deem it necessary to inform you of the situation in order for you to call the attention of the CEO to take this matter seriously with the Finance Director, whom, according to the CEO, has called his attention so many times on this issue, but to no avail. Accept, Madam, the expression of my highest consideration. Thank you. You wrote this to the Permanent Secretary?
Wow.
Permanent Secretary, yes.
And you were requesting for the budget?
Nena te nga laajte budget bi.
waaw.
Yes.
Your complaint was the budget was not given to you.
Nena li nga nekkoon di complain foofu mooy budget joxuñu la ko.
Now, please summarize the problem here.
Nena léegi pour nga firi ñu problème bi.
waaw problème bi mooy ne.
The problem was that.
Société lii it was in October I think
I think it was in October.
fekka try nañ ba soona pour Camara jagar budget bi.
But it happens we tried a lot for Camara to prepare the budget.
pour ñu start budget bi sax.
So that we can start the budget.
mënuñ ko am.
But to no avail.
pour jox ñu council statements reconciliation si.
For him to give us the council reconciliation statements,
boobu tamit mënut a nekk.
that too was not possible.
toppa nañ ba toppa CEO ba soona.
I followed the CEO until I was tired.
mënuñ ko am.
We could not be able to have them.
so ma decide pour binda to the permanent secretary.
Then I decided to write to the permanent secretary.
waaye société CEO memo bu ma ko bindoon.
But if you check the memo that I wrote to the CEO,
the blind copy na the permanent secretary.
I blank copy the permanent secretary.
foog naa yaa ngi ko amee boobu.
I hope you are having that there.
Come again, the one that the?
bi ma binda to the CEO tam.
The one I wrote to the CEO.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
foog naa boobu tamit mu ngi fa.
I think that too is inclusive.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Go on.
boobu tamit mooy woon after bu staff sam mi soo seetee Ibu Dramé lu ma bindoon.
From there, if his staffs, if you check Ibudram, what he wrote to me,
ak Hadijatu Pen mi fi toogoon moom tam.
and Hadijatu Pen, who was sitting there too,
liñ bindoon yëpp yónnee na jox naa la ko foofu.
what he wrote, all is given to you there.
Very well.
this is just to show you difficulties biñ doon am ak Camara.
This is just to show you the difficulties that we encounter with Camara.
Okay. Let me admit this too,
Nena halal mu dugal ko tamit,
and we proceed.
then ñu dal di proceed.
Apply to tender a memo dated the 8th of November 2022, and a letter addressed to the permanent secretary from the Lord Mayor Banjul, Rohey, Malick, Lowe, with the subject budget of the Banjul City Council. The first, the subject of which is assessment of the financial director and administrative director for confirmation vis-a-vis regularization of audit office and council's office. Do we have all this? These have been tendered. These two have been tendered yesterday, or today, I believe. Today, yes.
bii tam letter bu ma bindoon ministre bi la.
This to another letter that I wrote to the ministry.
bii yaa ngi ma ko delloo bii da nga ko tendoon de waaye da nga ma ko delloowaat. bii tendawuloo ko de bu mujj bii léegi laa la ko def bii léegi laa la ko def. Camara. Madam Chair, beneen baa ngi nii bu ma bindoon Local Government Service Commission bi tam.
Another one is here that I wrote to the local government service commission.
do, just arrange all the letters you have written to the ministry.
Na legi letter yo xamne bind nga ko ci ministry bi wala letter yo xamne sa digant ak ministry bi nga arrange len yep.
The ones forwarded will be addressed.
Na yi nga xamne dang ko addressed.
The ones that we have forwarded to the commission will be addressed, will be admitted and addressed.
Yo xamne dugal nañ ko ci commission bi bobu nañ ko topa ñu dal di ko address.
Then you arrange all letters sent to the ministry.
Nena kon nga gis ne letter yi nga xamne dang ko yoni ci ministry nga arrange len pak len say.
When you come back on Monday,
nena suñ ñewate Monday,
you can have an application to tender all the letters that are sent to the ministry.
Nena boba da nga gis ne nga dal di apply pour ñu dugal letter yi yep yi nga xamne bind nga ko wala correspondent di sa digante ak ministry.
If it is admitted,
nena suñu ko dugalé
then we can discuss it.
Nena ci kaw lolu ñu dal di wax mbiram.
So that it will not be in piecemeal.
Nena da nga gis ne du jaxase.
You understand?
Nena understand nga lolu.
Why you?
Yes.
That you sent for admission. These are part of the bundle of documents that I have admitted, and the exhibit number is LGC/BCC/RL/004.
Yes, I informed the registrar it is admitted already, but
okay, so
we did not see it.
Yes, so it's part of this bundle. So I have asked him to staple it together.
So, Lord Mayor, I will give you this letter back so that you arrange all the letters that are to the ministry that you want to rely on for discussion.
Lali bir bom dina la ko delo nga dal di arrange comme ni mu la waxe won letter yeb yi nga amne dox na sa digante ak ministry nga pak len ben aside.
Ak buñ bina local government service commission bi tam.
And the one I wrote to the local government service commission.
Yes, all.
Yes.
Why, Madam Chair?
Madam Chair.
Today, dama board meeting in Mauritania.
Today, I want to travel. I have a board meeting at Mauritania.
So yes, now what we will do is let us finish today's proceedings, and whatever application you have to do, you will do it at the end of the proceedings before we rise for the day. So, Council, you may proceed.
Yes. Now, the issue of the budget. The first question is, the finance director refused to give you the budget.
Finance director to
prepare the budget and to start the process.
Start process.
Did you bring this issue to council?
I told them until I get tired. I think he himself was invited to come to council.
Okay.
Camera can come and tell him council meeting and he will tell you this. And he go out and do something different.
Okay. Camera is very, very unreliable.
Camera is very, very unreliable.
Will you have council resolutions to this effect?
I'm council resolution.
I'm not minutes.
I know yes. The minutes will be there.
Yes, we will need that. Will you be able to produce them?
Wow.
Yes, yes.
Very well.
He himself, they used to call him and come and attend and sit down and attend. Camera is not the type of a person of which you will request for him to do something and he do it. Whatever he is to do, he has his own time to do it.
Write it down. We want you to provide us with the minutes of Now, the communications yesterday as well. You tendered a document that showed that you wrote to the ministry, and the minister asked that this is a CEO who should write.
Nena demba amna kayit bi nga xamne dang ko dugal fi way kayit bobu lu mo wone mu nekk na letter bo xamne dang ko bindul ministry tamit mu daldi la bind ne yow amuloo wargal wala warloo bind CEO moo am wargal wala moo war pour mu bind leen.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you recall this?
Nee na da nga fàttaliku loolu.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, the first is the restructuring of council personnel.
Nee na bu njëkk bi mooy pour restructure council personnel.
Where the ministry wrote to you saying that they acknowledge receipt of your letter dated the 27th of July 2020 in relation to the above caption subject. Do you have this letter?
Nee na fi nga xam ne ministre bi daf la bind pour wane la ne kay sa letter bi jot nañ ko. Nee na letter bi mbaa yaa ngi ko amee.
Ban letter man bu ma leen binda.
Which letter? The one I wrote to them?
Yes.
Boobu nga ma delloo nii.
That's the one you just returned to me now.
Okay, may I please have it?
Nee na ndaa mun na ko am.
Letter bi mu si yow.
You have the letter?
Is it the same? This one is dated the 29th of June.
Then I'll be 29th of June.
The letter that they referenced is 27th of July 2020.
Then letter we reference my 27th of July 2020.
Boobu kañ la.
This one is when was it?
This one is 29th of June 2020.
Then June 29, 2020.
Bi June la bi ñoom bi ñu reference ka ne kañ la.
July 2020.
July 2020.
Xam naa mu ngi fa bind nañ leen ba sona.
Is there? I wrote them many times.
Am na beneen boo amee sax bu nekkut boobu.
And there's another one different from this one.
Okay. Now, if you see it, the letter dated the 27th of July 2020, please, you can provide it.
Then I saw this letter bo bi nga xam ne ñu ko bind 27th of July 2020. Then nga dal ko isiwale.
Now it says that the restructuring of the council personnel is purely administrative.
Then mom lu mu na wax mooy restructuring of council personnel is purely administrative.
Therefore, on behalf of the permanent secretary, I write to inform you that such letters should be written by the CEO.
Nena fofa limota mungla hela ne façon letter yu CEO moko wara binda.
Did the CEO write?
Nena nda CEO binda na?
Waaw CEO daf leen bindoon bindaat ko tontu wuñ ko loolu tax man ma ne xaaral ma bind.
Yes, he wrote to them and there was no reply. This is why I decided to write to them.
On this issue?
Nena simbiri bela mbiri affaire bi la.
Wow.
Yes.
Lii moo ko def mu difficult ba nga xam ne man suma position sax mënuma koo xam si ministry bi.
This is what made it difficult until I can't even know my position in the ministry.
Lead council is very easy pour ma toog fii nga ne ma yow yaa nekk si kaw yow yaa war a def lii yaay omega yaay yëpp.
It is easy for me to sit there and you say you are the head, you are the omega, you are.
When the ministry themselves ñu ngi laa wone la.
While the ministry themselves are showing it to you that.
Soo téye nit muy sàcca.
If you caught somebody stealing,
ñu ne la mënuloo ko du sa business. ñoom waxuñ ne mënuma ko daax sax dañ maa wone la it's not your business.
They said to you that it's not your business.
da ngaa gis staff boo xam ne dafa def dara ba pare mu dem ba si ministry bi.
You can see a staff who did something and go out to the ministry.
fekk ñun bind nañ ministry di ko wax affaire yi naa la jox a typical example mooy bi auditor yi way ne ne.
Giving you a typical example while you have wrote and explained everything to the ministry.
te soo ko seetee si letter boobu mu ngi fa.
And if you check that letter, it's there.
biñ ne di auditor mënut a nekk an internal auditor jabaram nekk a cashier.
And when they said an auditor cannot be an internal auditor and the wife became a cashier.
So buñ bindee letter liñ ma tontu nii yëpp si biir letter boobu loolu mu ngi fa.
And the letter I wrote to them and that they replied, all of these agendas are inside there.
The discipline of staffs as per the Local Government Act.
In a discipline of staffs as per Local Government Act.
What is the procedure?
Dina lan moy procedure bi?
Dina dem si establishment.
It will go to the establishment.
Dinañ la binda.
It will be wrote.
so ebo mo dem establishment 200 times.
Even if go to the establishment
Nga binda boromam 200 times.
200 times.
So ministry bi buggee yang ko gis suma letter man la ko won
If the ministry, you saw it on my letter.
suñ letter si wara dem si local government bi sa ñu ko block.
The letters that supposed to go to the local government have been blocked.
So ñom kuñ luñ bugga mu am si staff si lolu moy am.
So for them, whatever they want it to happen in the staff, that is what normally happens.
I do not deny that.
Nena du mom very ut lolu.
I am not denying your assertion.
Nena da nga gis ne li nga nekk di wax fi amul lu mu.
I just want us to discuss the procedure for disciplining staffs first.
Nena lu mu bëgg mooy pour ñu discuss mbiri so yar staff si mooy discipline dem.
We have seen the lapses of the ministry. We have discussed that with the permanent secretary.
Nena gis nañ lapse yi nga xam ne ministry am na ko waaye ñu dañu waxtaanoon li ak permanent secretary.
I'm not sure whether you have followed the commission in the beginning.
Nena foo daane commission fu mu doore doo ko woon di toppa.
We had said here in the commission
Nena def nañ ko fii wax nañ ko fii si commission bi.
that even the ministry to act as an agent of the service commission.
Nena even minister pour mu act as an agent of the service commission.
To say, for instance, all communications must pass through the permanent secretary.
Nena pour mu wax ne communication yëpp yi nga xam ne li ngeen di communicate mu pass through the permanent secretary.
Is wrong.
Nena du yoon.
We said it.
Nena wax nañ ko.
We repeated it here.
Nena wax nañ ko fii.
Told the permanent secretary.
Wax nañ ko permanent secretary.
He never wanted to hear that.
Nena bëggutoon na dégg loolu.
We said it.
waaye wax nañ
The
ko.
commissioners repeated that.
Nena commissioners yi ñu.
You know what happened?
Nena xam nga lu
The
xew.
Supreme Court gave a judgment. The Supreme Court gave a judgment.
Nena mooy bis judgment bi.
And they repeated that.
Nena mu ñu defaat ko.
So the issue here
Nena la nga gis mbir mi fii
is that
mooy.
where it is wrong,
Nena foo xam ne àndut wala warut.
whether it is the ministry
Nena ndaa ministry la.
whom we even started with,
mi nga xam ne ñoom si ñoom lañ dooroon.
or it is the council,
Nena wala si council.
be it the political branch or the administrative branch,
Nena mu ne nekk si political bi wala si administrative.
wherever the fault lies,
Nena fault bi fu mu waayeeku.
we just tell you,
ñu wax la ko.
and that's how it goes.
Nena loolu la moo demee.
But for better understanding,
Nena waaye pour ñu xam ko nu mu waree.
you have an establishment committee,
dégg nga yow am nga establishment committee.
correct?
Nena du dëgg.
Waaw.
Yes.
They deal with disciplinary issues,
Nena ñoom ñoo dee deal with disciplinary issues.
correct?
Nena mbaa du noonu.
Waaw.
And
Yes.
they make recommendations.
and ñoom tamit ñoo dee def recommendations yi.
Now, council should send this to the service commission.
Nena council ñu daal di yónni loolu si service commission.
Council does not have the right to discipline staffs.
Nena council amul benn warugal pour discipline staffs.
You agree with that?
Nena nangul nga si loolu.
100%.
100%.
Whether that is the best practice
Nena na loolu mooy yoon bu jub bu war
or not,
wala déet.
that is open for discussion.
Nena loolu dafa nekk dañ loo xam ne dafa teral pour waxtaan.
If you or anyone thinks that council should have the right to discipline
Nena
staffs,
ndaa yow wala keneen mu foog ne council dafa am warugal pour discipline
at some
staffs.
point in your testimony,
Nena si soo ko seetee si sa waxtaan bi wala
the
sa wone
commission
bi.
may hear you or ask you your opinion.
Nena commission bi dañ la dégg ñu daal di la laajte sa opinion mooy
But
sa
the law
xalaat.
as it stands
Nena waaye nu mel ko nu mu waree.
is council does not have the right to discipline staff.
Nena council amul benn doole amul warugal pour discipline staff.
But they have a very important role
Nena waaye am nañu am important role bu mag.
to conduct hearings, make findings, and make recommendations.
ñu conduct hearings ñu def findings ak recommendations yi.
You understand that?
Nena loolu leer na.
Lii council.
Lead council.
Do you understand that?
Waaw.
Yes.
Dama la bëgg a jox a classical example.
I want to give you a practical example.
Amoon nañ staff boo xam ne
We have a staff that means
almost about 7 months ñëwut liggéey si.
a staff whom you know almost 7 months he does not come to work.
te senior manager la.
And he was a senior manager.
ñu ko fay di ko fay.
He was paid.
ma waxa permanent secretary bi.
I talked to the permanent secretary.
def lu nekk fiti ba soona.
I do anything until I get tired.
permanent secretary bi na déedéet duñ stop fayam bi dañ ko bëgg di fay.
And the permanent secretary said to me, no, let us not stop his payment.
Because
Let it
100%.
Go ahead. Because of 100%,
permanent secretary bi mu ngi koo baak.
the permanent secretary is bagging him.
ma convince CEO ba soona ne ko nañ stop saraleem bi.
I convinced you until I get tired that we stop his salary.
and lu si gën a funny mooy.
The most funniest thing there is,
nekkul ci biir Gambie bi sax.
it's not even, he was not in the Gambia here.
ma ne CEO binda na mun na ko su ñëwee fii nga laajte ko loolu.
When CEO have wrote, if he come here, you ask him, he'll tell
ba
you.
pare suñ bindee to the local government service commission.
And if you write to the local government service commission,
permanent secretary bi teg ko fa.
the permanent secretary will just keep it there.
ma dem ba
Now, Madam Mayor, Who at the time was the permanent secretary?
PS Sanyang.
PS Sanyang.
Ma def try lu neka.
I tried all.
Time we have very
Sorry,
competent.
let me just ask a further question. With respect to this person that you're talking about,
Was
there any record from the council, from the establishment committee, from the council itself, and from your office, written to the permanent secretary with respect to this person, on vis-a-vis with what you are saying?
Establishment office.
So please
CEO.
note and provide us with that
communication.
We
we tried all our best.
Permanent secretary bi bañ.
The permanent secretary refused.
So lu ñu doon def sax mooy ne.
What we were doing was that
suñ ko bindee moom permanent secretary bi.
whenever we write to the permanent secretary,
du ko jox local government service commission.
we never give it to the local service commission.
ba gannaaw si dama daan jël di copy of lu ñu daan binda.
Tomorrow, I used to get the copies that we were writing to him.
am na si kenn koo xam ne mu ngi maa dégg lawyer la.
And one of the lawyers is hearing me.
mu ngi woon si local government service commission.
He was in the local government service commission.
dama daan daw office am di ko yóbbu letter si.
I used to run to his office to give him the letters.
moom si boppam ma woon ne understandul lii sax.
He himself said to me that he did not even understand.
Now this issue.
Nena mbir mi.
You know, two wrongs cannot make a right.
Nena ñaari yoo xam ne lu warut ba ñu tollu taxut ñaari yoon taxut mu am mu nekk lu war.
Well, I'm not sure whether that's the best way, but
is that the
I can always rephrase.
Two wrongs cannot make a right.
Yes.
Mooy loo xam ne àndul wala jubut soo ko defaatee sa ñaari yoon loolu taxut mu nekk loo xam ne dafa jubu wala dafa war.
Let me rephrase.
Very well.
If the permanent secretary is wrong,
Nena moom permanent secretary bi soo xam ne su defee loo xam ne àndut.
and
wala warut.
you adopt the wrong procedure,
Nena
and you adopt the wrong procedure,
wala mu jël loo xam ne ànda boo xam ne wala wrong procedure bi xam ne àndut.
if the permanent secretary is wrong,
Nena moom su demee ba def loo xam ne dafa juum.
we had already told you, and I don't want to go back to that,
Nena moom wax na la ko yëpp te bëggut a delloo si gannaaw.
that the idea of asking local government authorities to be sending communications that are meant for the service commission.
Nena pour nga gis ne local government pour nga laajte leen ñu daal di la yónni ay communications yi nga xam ne yooyu dafa mel pour service commission.
That it must pass to the permanent secretary.
Nena boobu dafa war a jaar si permanent secretary.
We had maintained that it is a wrong
Nena
practice.
boobu ñun wane nañ ko fii ne loolu du yoon jaaduwut.
And so it is subject to abuse,
Nena soo ko seetee loolu dafa nekk loo xam ne abuse la.
even by the permanent secretary.
Nena si permanent secretary bi sax si boppam.
Office of the permanent secretary.
Abuse of the permanent secretary.
The office of the permanent secretary
And office of the permanent secretary.
cannot
loolu du mun a
and should not
te warut tamit
be controlling communications that are meant to go to the service commission.
pour mu gis ne waxtaan wala contrôle yi nga xam ne xibaar yi nga xam ne moo war a doxee si service commission moom mu koy contrôle nee na warut.
That would be against the law.
nee na loolu moom àndut ak loi bi.
Now we have already said that.
nee na tey wax nañ loolu ba
It
pare.
was said since the beginning of the commission.
nee na moom mu ngi woon fii depuis commission bi fu mu door.
Also,
nee na tamit.
that's why I said two wrongs can't make a right.
nee na lii moo tax mu ne ñaari wrongs du mun a nekk right.
The local government service commission,
nee na local service commission.
or let me say the local government area councils,
nee na local government area councils.
you have structures.
nee na am ngeen structures.
You follow the structures.
nee na seen taxawaay boobu ngeen dee toppa.
And we want to see the structure being followed.
nee na te gis nga ne da nga war la pour ngeen toppa mooy structure boobu.
So before the mayor or the chairperson just jumps and write letters,
nee na balaa mayor wala chairperson topp di bind ay leetar.
even if they have a very good case,
nee na even am nañ case boo xam ne bu am fayda.
and the issues raised are very valid to look into,
nee na te wax bi nga xam ne wala li nga xam ne loolu la ñoo bind nekk na loo xam ne dafa important pour ñu seet ko.
process must be followed.
nee na process bi mooy yoon bi boobu lañ war a toppa.
For instance, when you write to the permanent secretary,
nee na for instance yow soo bindee si permanent secretary.
did you have minutes of meetings from the establishment committee
nee na da nga amoon minutes of meetings yi nga xam ne established committee def nañ ko.
in relation to disciplinary measures
te yoo xam ne jubul na wala bokk na si disciplinary
and
measures
recommendations
ak
made,
recommendations yi nga xam ne def nañ ko.
and in relation to disciplinary measures, appointments, and staff dismissals and conditions. Do you have that?
Lead counsel, wax naa la ne man may di last ku dee mujjee binda dafa fekk ne exhaust nañ yoon bu nekk.
I told you that I'm the last person to write.
ba ne CEO bi léegi xaaral ma.
Before I write everything, I've been exhausted.
Would you be able to provide would you be able to provide the minutes in relation to the findings of the establishment committee in disciplinary matters and recommendations made and sent to the but there will be copies to the commission?
Namba mun nga ñu ay minutes yi nga xamné bokk na ci meeting yi nga xamné def ngeen ko ak li nga xamné da ngeen ko yóbbu ci commission.
Waaw dina fa nekk.
Yes, it must be there.
So ñooñu suñ bindé ba sona.
Whenever they write until they get fed up.
Man ci la di try chance.
That is the time I used to try my chance.
Would you be able to provide this?
Nena ndamu nga ñu isiwale.
Waaw minutes dafa nekk.
Yes, the minutes must be there.
No, but can you provide that?
Nena ndaw yow mun nga ko ñu.
Waaw ko laajte dinañ ma ko jox kay.
Yes, if I ask or I request, it will be given to me.
Please write that down.
Nena nga bind ko tamit.
Because, again, back to the issue of the budget. The finance director is answerable to the CEO.
Financial director,
the CEO is answerable to you and council. If the finance director is to request for a budget preparation from the CEO is to request for budget preparation.
CEO budget preparation si financial director
and could not get it. He reports to you. You report to council. Council pass a resolution. After exhausting the remedy. And report to the and send the recommendations and resolutions to general council to the service commission.
Recommendations general council.
Is that not the case? That's supposed to be the process. Yes, that's supposed to be the process. Sometimes I see it is more or less not following the process.
I'm not process. That is what I'm telling you. The reason why I put my pen and I wrote. If Bachili is here, he will witness to me that I'm not fluent in writing to the ministry.
Family. So issues dañ ko dé mëna contain mun sé waxtaan mëna def things together.
We are just like family. Our issues we sit together and discuss and make them and put them in order.
My jël di binda ministry.
It's not fluent. I used to write to the ministry. Anytime you see me writing to the ministry, you know that there is no way. And later we realized that to write to the ministry have no use.
No, but again, if the procedures are meant to be followed.
That is what I'm telling you. That means we are fed up.
Council meeting,
management meetings. We went to council meeting, but to no avail. Now, if I'm to speak the truth, there are some changes a little bit.
Because permanent secretary
because the permanent secretary who is there right now, because I know if you write to him, he will quickly respond.
Why am on a time you
there was a time that we know. God knows better.
Because when the ministry says, for instance, ask the permanent secretary to CEO to write, because he is the administrative head.
Lead counsel, they go to Malaw. Man, dafa fekk letter bi bala mo dem ci ñom. fekk binda nañ ko ba sona CEO binda ne lay bataay.
As I said before, I wrote to them. It happens that
Ñoom dañ
the
binda li ñu leen neex rek.
The letters you have written. The letters you have written, Mr. Boja. No one is denying what you are saying. But the letters you have written, it did not reference, example, letters that the CEO wrote. And so perhaps you were writing a letter as a way of follow-up. So if you bring those letters, recommendations from the example, the establishment committee, the CEO's letter addressed to the permanent secretary, or local government service commission as the case may be,
local government service,
then this will connect the dots and back up your evidence that look, the CEO wrote XYZ several times to the relevant authority, but they did not respond. Establishment committee addressed this issue in relation to employment and discipline of staffs, but they did not respond.
Established committee, ñu dal di bind pour wone affaire discipline staff si wala ay téxate ay gis ci liggéey kat bi waaye no response.
Council passed XYZ resolution in this area, but nothing happened.
Na council tamit joxe nañ ci resolution waaye dara doxul.
That is why I tried to make the last effort to write.
Nena li motax mu nga try pour def pour yow sa bop nga wone ne li motax legi man my last effort tamit pour mo bind.
Because the structure has been exhausted.
Because nga gis ne structure bi fu ne ni dafa
and no result was achieved.
Te amuñ fa ben results.
If you show that,
nena lolu soko wone,
then the commissioners will now have an obligation
nena nga gis ne commissioners yi nañ war
to look into where the problem lies,
pour ñu mëna xol mëna xam problème bi fan la
to solve that
in
their recommendation.
ñu mëna ko jagar ci sen recommendation.
No, we had already told you that we did not agree with the permanent secretary holding information.
Mom wana ko fi ne ñun suñu bofa sa nanguñ wala anduña.
But the mayor too cannot just write, like you said, without exhausting this remedy. So please, again, by Monday or Tuesday, as the case may be, if you have these letters to show that you have exhausted these remedies through the normal legal channel,
it
will make sense, because what we have now is just them, the office saying that the CEO should write and not you, which will suggest that the CEO is, which will suggest, I'm not saying that's the case, that the CEO never wrote, you just jumped the gun.
Letter bo xamne mu ko amé mom lu mu woné moy letter bi kaddu fa nek moy ñu ngi la xelal ne jaru yow nekut ne yow ya wara bind way CEO ci bofam ñoko wara bind ne da gis ne ñeneen ni suñu sété letter bi duñu mëna xam ndax CEO bi musna leena bind wala det.
Do you understand what we are trying to say?
Understand nga lu nekk di wax ni.
The CEO mu ngi amé letters am yépp.
Yes, I do. At the CEO are having those letters.
Okay, let's have that.
Nañu ko am
so that we can back your evidence.
Nena bobu dina mëna back sa evidence.
Are we together?
Yes.
Now with the evidence, the vouchers for Fatou Mega.
Nena legi suñu jéxal wala bu bala ñu jéxal evidence yi nga am na letter yi nga am na Mbenga.
We also have one for council's get.
Amna ben tamit bi nga am ne refreshment la council sen gan bu wara joge Senegal.
And again, the procurement process was not followed.
Nena tamit bi legi de ben yoonu bi la de procurement top len ko.
We have the NACOF, during the NACOF.
Nena during NACOF.
An amount of $250,000 that was paid to Fatou Mbenga.
Sorry, Council. Do you need the witness to respond to that?
Yeah, I'm asking the two together.
Sorry.
Because all dealing with procurement issues. The 27,000 is for procurement in relation to the guest from Senegal, where it says that request for payment on behalf of the Mayor of Banjul, I write to request for $7,000 for the payment of accommodation and $20,000 for food, drinks, refreshment for the Banjul City Council guests from Senegal. And another was $250,000 for the NICOF, where it says payment for water, refreshment, and food for the NICOF, slated the 15th to the 23rd of December 2022. The amount of which is $250,000. Do you recall this?
Wow.
Yes.
The amount of $250,000 is again for refreshment.
Nena njegi bi nga xamne dem na be $250,000 is nena bo yeb nek na for refreshment.
Paid to Fatou Mbenga on your behalf.
Nena te fe nañ ko ci Fatou Mbenga ci sa tour.
Now this certainly did not follow any procurement process, correct?
Nena te bi tamit top to yoni procurement.
Okay.
Okay.
Whether you agree, can I show you the voucher?
Nena nango nga wala mo wala voucher bi.
Yes. So my position is it did not follow any.
Position bi moy mu la yegal ne top len yon bi moy procurement.
You agree with that?
Nena nango nga lolu.
No.
Yes.
Why is that?
Nena lu tax lolu.
Nekof bi mom fokna I cannot remember kañ la faatu fokna the same day bu besi Nekof bi.
For Nekof, I can't remember very well, but I think the same day that of Nekof.
Société voucher bi.
If you check the voucher,
fokna the same day of the Nekof bi la jot xaalis bi.
I think that was the very day or the same day that she got the monies.
Or day before Nekof bi.
Or a day before Nekof.
Yes, but why was procurement process not followed?
Then a lot of turbulent procurement process.
Moy comme yeneen yi rek li ma la waxoon.
As before others, as I told you before.
Su wrongee A rek ba Z dafa wrong.
When you wrong from A, it will be wrong until you get to Z.
Now, was there retirement done for this one?
Then a retirement, we definitely retirement.
Wow, for na Fatou def na retirement.
Yes, I think Fatou did the retirement.
We will come back to that.
We
have $30,000.
Then I am not fanwari junni.
A voucher again paid to Fatou Mbenga.
Then a voucher la te bebu tamit fengen ko si Fatou Mbenga.
For social package to Bena, is it Bena T Road Carnival?
Then a full social package to Bena T Carnival.
Is it Bena T Road Carnival?
Bena T Road wa.
Bena T Road Carnival.
Held on the 27th of January 2023.
Held on the 27th of January 2023.
Again, monies paid to Fatou Mbenga on your behalf.
And I believe has become a fan and go see Fatou tour.
Li moy just like ñi ñew pour request.
It's just like a request.
So société di sen comme again voucher bi nga xamne mom la gaay binda.
If you check the voucher that they wrote,
lolu mo missing fofu.
that is
what is missing?
Li gaay binda letter bi gaay binda.
The letter that they wrote.
Letter bobu nonu is not attached there.
The letter is not attached there.
Yes.
So xamna dañ binda sen T Road sen programme.
I know the T Road they wrote their program.
So ñu fay ko Fatou Mbenga jox len ko.
And they came to Fatou Mbenga gave it to them.
So I think the only problem buñ am fi.
I know or I feel the problem that we have.
Moy lutax mayor bi turam feñ fa.
The reason why appears there.
Okay, can you explain that?
Moy luma wax rek moy ni ko Fatou bindé rek.
As I said, the way she wrote it.
Because comme luma la day wax fokk mu am ko xamné Fatou fokk mu bindako.
As I said, Fatou must rely on somebody's name.
No, Fatou does not have to rely on anyone's name.
Fatou
does not even have to request for money. But she's instructed. That is why she wrote on your behalf. Now, who decided the amount?
Just the normal procedure. Dama o CEO rek mané ko ñi sen programme bi li la.
It's a normal procedure. I called the CEO and
this is their budget.
I informed him that this is how they plan.
So you decide.
Modem finance, mu set lan lañ leen mëna jox.
Then he went to the finance to see how much they can be able to give it. Then
No, the letter, what will happen is what is requested is what is paid.
Nena so gisee letter bi te lu wara xew mooy wala lu wara am mooy li ngeen laajte wala loolu lañu wara fay.
So for all the letters that have been approved,
Nena letter yëpp yi nga xam ne dañ ko approve.
what is requested is what is given.
Nena li ngeen laajte wala li ngeen xayma loolu lañu fay.
So finance and CEO, they don't do any work.
Nena finance ak CEO ñoom duñ def benn liggéey.
They don't even check the availability of funds
Nena ñoom sax duñ dee seet na xaalis mu ngi fa wala
or the amount that can be given.
wala njëg bi nga xam ne boobu ngeen war a joxe.
They just pay exactly as it is requested.
Nena comme ñoom lu nekk si kayit rek la ñoo toppa.
That's why I told them they are rubber stamp.
Rubber stamp lañ.
Because like you said, they are supposed to look into the letter.
Nena comme yow sa bopp li nga wax ñoom dañu war a check ñu seet si biir letter.
They are supposed to have independent view.
Nena dañu war a am ñoom seen xalaat.
They should be in the position to tell you we cannot pay this.
Nena ñoom mun nañ taxaw sax ñu ne la waaw duñu ko mën a fay.
For one reason or the other.
Nena am na lu tax te nañ la woon lii moo tax.
Or the amount is too much.
wala li nga bind xaalis bi dafa rëy dafa bëri.
Or in fact we can't pay the money directly to you.
Nena in fact xaalis bi de su ñëwee fee sax dañu nekkut ne dañ koo fay si yow.
But they don't do that.
Nena waaye dafa ñu fu loolu.
They are not even helping you.
Nena de ñoom nekkuñ di la jàppale sax.
waaye li council wax naa la ko si suba ma ne la.
But I tell you in the morning that.
soo gisee amount bi nga gis fa amount sangam.
You see the amount that you see the amount.
dafa fekk ne xam nga tii road duñ def programme di ñëw laajte 30,000.
Because T-Road will not have a program and they request for 30,000.
ñii sax seen budget bi dem na ba ay 200,000 or dem na ba 100 and something thousand.
A budget up to 200,000 or 100 and something
or
thousand.
100,000.
Or 100,000.
because ñi seen programme bi is a programme of 3 days.
Because their programs is that of 3 days.
waaye suñ indee loolu CEO dina na ma ne lii lañ mun a joxe.
But whenever that is brought, CEO will tell me this is the amount we can be able to pay. That is what I do minutes.
No, but T-Road or anyone seeking donation or sponsor.
Nena T-Road wala kep ko xamne mu ngay saaku dimbale.
If they have a budget of $1 million,
Su amé budget $1 million.
They will not tell you that they will not put a figure that they want.
Nena de ñom duñ la wa ne ñom luñu bëgg lañ lay wax.
No, they would not put a figure.
Nena ñom duñu wax njëgi ne li lañ bëgg pour nga jox ñu.
They will just state that they want donation.
Nena ñom lu ñu wax moy ñun de ñu ngi saaku jaafal dimbale.
waaye fo.
Yes, come again.
sorry.
Please, no, you proceed.
waaye li nga wax nii man loolu laa la wax de. li nga benn wax bi la ñoo wax de.
What we are saying is exactly that what I'm telling you.
No, you were explaining that considering the amount, let's say $27,000,
Nena ya nga wax ne soo seetee njëgi bi mooy $27,000.
that it must have been very reasonable. That's what I get from it.
Nena soo gisee moom dina nekk loo xam ne dafa reasonable.
Because they have a very big budget, let's say $200,000 or so.
Because ñoom am nañu ay budget lu dem ba ñaari téeméeri junni.
My point is, you would not know that. The person giving does not know that.
Nena yow doo mën a joxe doo mën a xam loolu te ku nekk koo xam ne mu ngi joxe loolu kooku du mën a xam loolu.
Because they only seek for donations.
Nena ñoom dañoo ñëw pour saako dimbali rek.
Now,
programme Banjul programmes.
Banjul programs.
suñ ñëwee di am seen programmes yi.
When they are coming to have their programs.
they bring their letters with budget.
They bring their letters with budgets.
comme for example démba.
For instance, yesterday,
we have a wrestling buy xew Banjul on Saturday.
we have a wrestling that is going to happen in Banjul
They
next
indi
Saturday.
a budget of 75,000.
They brought a budget of 75,000.
waaye CEO bi dama déedéet lii lañ si mën a fay.
But CEO said no, this is the amount we
Because
should
ñu
can
ngi
be
fay
able to
salary.
pay. Because we are going to pay salaries.
so that amount bu ma CEO wax ne loolu lañ mën a joxe.
So the amount that CEO advised me that is the
man
amount we can be
CEO
able
bi
to
loolu
pay.
laa ko minital.
That is CEO, that is what I mean to the CEO.
so the same ak Banjul T route.
Now, it's the same action that was taken.
suñ indee a budget of
Banjul T Road.
100,000.
When a budget was brought before us for 100,000,
CEO ne ma 20,000 lañ si mën a fay.
and CEO said we can be able to pay 20,000.
so loolu la ñoo bind ne 20,000 lañ leen di jox.
And we write that we are going to give them 20,000.
the NACOF,
Then the neck off,
the $250,000.
$250,000.
We see, for instance, it says request for water and refreshment package. I write on behalf of the mayor to request for $50,000 for water.